3 seconds. That's all your brain gets. Before a crash. In those 3 seconds, your brain performs one of the most extraordinary survival routines in the human body. It rewires your muscles, floods your bloodstream with powerful chemicals, and begins making life or death decisions before you're even aware there's a problem. By the time you think you've reacted, your brain already has. Let's rewind. It's a completely ordinary Tuesday evening. You're driving home from work. The radio hums quietly in the background. Your hands barely think about steering anymore. Your mind has already wandered somewhere else. Maybe you're wondering what's for dinner. Maybe you're replaying a conversation from earlier today. You've driven this exact road hundreds of times. Every bend, every traffic light, every pothole. Your brain knows the route so well, it doesn't need your full attention anymore. Instead of actively thinking about every movement, it's relying on habits built through hundreds of identical journeys. Then, something changes. A white box truck drifts across the center line, straight into your lane, 40 meters away. There isn't enough time to think. And that's actually a good thing, because if your survival depended on conscious thought, you'd almost certainly be too late. Less than 2/10 of a second after your eyes detect the truck, a tiny almond shaped structure buried deep inside your brain bursts into action. It's called the amygdala. It's only about the size of an almond, but it has one of the most important jobs in your entire nervous system: detect danger before you're consciously aware of it. Scientists call this an amygdala hijack. Instead of asking your logical brain for permission, your survival system temporarily takes control because it's simply much faster. The thinking part of your brain, the prefrontal cortex, is brilliant at solving problems, planning ahead, making careful decisions. But in a life or death emergency, it's simply too slow. Evolution figured that out millions of years ago. So instead, your brain hands control to a much older system, one built for a single purpose: keeping you alive. And it's unbelievably fast. Before you've consciously realized there's a truck heading straight toward you, your body has already started the changing. Within about half a second, two tiny glands sitting on top of your kidneys spring into action. They release a chemical that transforms your entire body almost instantly: adrenaline. You've probably heard that word hundreds of times, but what it actually does is far more incredible than most people realize. Imagine your body as a city during a sudden power outage. The electricity doesn't disappear, it gets redirected instantly. Your brain decides what matters most and what can wait. Digestion, paused. Energy used for repairing your body, paused. Even blood flow changes. Blood leaves your skin and your stomach and rushes toward the muscles that might need it most. Your heart beats faster, your breathing becomes deeper, your pupils widen, letting in more light. Every system is suddenly focused on one thing: survival. And then, something even stranger happens. Your senses begin to change, sounds become sharper, your vision narrows, distractions fade away. People often think adrenaline gives you superhuman abilities. Not exactly. What it really does is strip away everything that isn't helping you survive. It's less like upgrading your brain and more like closing every unnecessary app on your phone. So all the battery goes to one task. But adrenaline isn't even the strangest thing your brain does, because you've only got about 1.5 seconds remaining, and your brain has to make one impossible decision: brake, swerve, or freeze. Those three choices might sound conscious. They're usually not, because your brain has already started searching through something far more powerful than thinking: memory. Not the kind you use to remember your Wi Fi password, the kind buried so deep you don't even realize it's there. Every time you've driven a car, every emergency stop, every near miss, every driving lesson, your brain has quietly been recording patterns. Think of it like an invisible library, except instead of books, it's filled with reactions. In this moment, your brain isn't asking, "What should I do?" It's asking, "Have I seen something like this before?" If the answer is yes, it skips conscious thought completely. That's why experienced racing drivers can correct a skid before they even realize the car is sliding. It's why trained emergency responders often move before they can explain why. And it's why experienced drivers often begin braking before they consciously realize your brain is running a survival shortcut built through years of repetition. Now, here's something: almost everyone who survived a serious crash says everything slowed down. The truck seemed to float through the air. The steering wheel moved in slow motion. Some people even remember tiny details: a loose coin rolling across the dashboard, the pattern on someone's shirt, individual pieces of shattered glass. So, did time actually slow down? No. Time never changed. Your memory did. Normally, your brain throws away most of what you experience. If it didn't, every second of every day would overwhelm you. But during extreme danger, your brain suddenly decides everything matters. Imagine filming a football match with one camera recording 30 frames every second and another recording 300. The match lasts exactly the same amount of time, but the second recording captures far more detail. Your brain does something remarkably similar. It stores far more information than usual. When you remember the event later, your brain has much more footage to replay. That's why it feels like time slowed down. It didn't. Your memory simply became incredibly detailed. Now, the clock keeps ticking. 1 second left, the truck is closer. Your foot is already moving. You still haven't consciously decided to brake. Yet somehow, you're braking. Years of driving have strengthened the neural pathways controlling those movements until they become almost automatic. Your brain recognized the danger, started the movement, and only afterwards informed your conscious mind what had happened. Then, just 0.3 of a second remain, your neck muscles tighten, your shoulders lock, your grip hardens around the steering wheel, your jaw clenches, your body braces itself automatically. His reflex is ancient. Long before humans built cars, our ancestors were falling from trees, dodging predators, and surviving dangerous environments. Bodies that instinctively prepared for impact were simply more likely to survive. That same survival program still runs inside you today, even though the danger now weighs several tons and has headlights. And then the truck suddenly jerks back into its own lane. It misses you by centimeters. The danger is over. But your body doesn't know that yet. Your heart is still racing. Your hands begin shaking. Your breathing feels uneven. Some people laugh, some cry. Others sit silently for several minutes. Every one of those reactions is completely normal because adrenaline doesn't disappear the moment the danger ends. It keeps circulating through your body for the next 20 to 30 minutes while your nervous system slowly returns to normal. Only then do you notice the music still playing on the radio. Only then do you realize how tightly you've been gripping the steering wheel. Only then does your conscious mind finally catch up to a decision your brain made almost 3 seconds earlier. Your brain didn't slow time. It didn't give you superpowers. It simply switched into survival mode, redirecting blood to where it mattered most, sharpening your senses, building richer memories, and making life-saving decisions. For just 3 seconds, it became the fastest version of itself. Millions of years of evolution compressed into a single moment. Your brain never stopped to ask, what should I do? It already knew. And that's the remarkable part. The greatest survival tool you'll ever own is the one you're using. Most of the time, you'll never even notice it until one completely ordinary moment becomes extraordinary. And suddenly, those 3 seconds become the most important 3 seconds of your life. If this changed the way you'll think about the next 3 seconds, leave a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.